Hello, welcome to the CCL YouTube channel. My name's Alex and today we're going to look at adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency are words that we use to answer the question, how often do you do something? They do have some other uses too, and I will mention some of those in this video. Let's start with never. Never means that you don't do something at all. For example, my friend is a vegetarian. She never eats meat. In the sentence, never goes before the verb. We can't say never she eats meat or she eats meat never. All of the adverbs in this video can go before the verb, but some can go in other places too. There is one exception to this, which is if the verb is to be. For example, if I say, I am never late, never comes after the verb am. When we say never, we don't always mean it exactly. I might say, I am never late, but really, I am late a few times a year. The next adverbs that we'll look at are rarely and seldom. If never means that you do something 0% of the time, rarely and seldom mean 5 or 10% of the time. We could say that it rarely snows in the south of England in winter. It is possible, and it does happen. But some winters there is no snow at all, and if it does snow, it might only be for a couple of days. We could use seldom instead. For example, it seldom snows. Both of these adverbs can go before the verb, just like never. Seldom can also be an adjective. So a common way we use it is to say, it is seldom that. For example, I sometimes watch my local football team, but it is seldom that they win. The next adverb is occasionally. This means a bit more than seldom or rarely, maybe 10 or 20% of the time. For example, I occasionally go to the cinema. Maybe I go if there is something I want to see. Occasionally can be used as well at the beginning or the end of the sentence. For example, occasionally I go to the cinema, or I go to the cinema occasionally. The next adverb is sometimes, which could be 30 to 50% of the time. As I said before, I sometimes go to watch my football team. I don't go every week and watch every game. Maybe I go to one match in 2 or one match in 3. Sometimes is another adverb that can go at the beginning or at the end of a sentence. Sometimes I watch my local football team, or I watch my local football team sometimes. Often is the next, which means more than 50% of the time. I often take the bus into the city centre. I don't always take the bus because sometimes I drive, but more times I take the bus. Then we have usually, which is perhaps 70 to 90% of the time. This is definitely more than half of the time, but not quite every time. I usually have breakfast at 7 a.m. This is because I get up at 6:30 for work, but on the weekend I don't usually have work, therefore I might have breakfast later. And finally we get to always. When we say we always do something, we mean 100% of the time, although we might actually mean almost 100%. For example, I always brush my teeth. I never forget. I hope this is true for you as well. There is another time when we use always. If someone does something which you think is annoying, you can say they are always doing it. For example, you're always leaving the door open, or the teacher is always giving us lots of homework on a Friday. So, how often do you do these things? Pause the video and say how often you do them. What do people do that annoys you? Again, pause the video and say what they are always doing. See you next time.